Hello developers, in this video I am going to teach you how to integrate sign in with Google functionality using JavaScript. This is my blog codingdiksha.com. I have already posted an article regarding this topic, login with Google account using JavaScript. You can use this website as a reference. I included the link in the video description. Don't worry. The first step is you have to create a project in Google Developer Console. I opened the Google Developer Console. Click here, then click New Project button. You have to name the project. I name it Sign with Google using JavaScript. The name is too long, so I just removed some lines. Then I click Create button. The project is started to create. Once it's created successfully, select the project, sign in with Google using JavaScript. Now you have to navigate to the Oauth Consent screen tab. Choose user type as external, then click Create button. Then you have to provide the app name. Login, I am providing login with Google using JavaScript. Then choose the user support email, then scroll down. You don't have to fill these fields. Add the developer contact information, email address. Finally, click the Save and Continue button. On other tabs, you don't have to do anything, just click Save and Continue. Finally, click the Back to Dashboard button. Now you have to publish the app. If you don't publish the app, then the API won't work. Click Publish App button, then click the Confirm button. The app is published successfully. You don't have to do the verification. Now click the Credentials tab. Where you can create client ID. Click Create Credentials button. Then click OAuth Client ID. Choose application type as web application. Then if you want, you can rename the application name. You have to add authorized JavaScript origins and authorized redirect URIs. These two options are very important. You have to add the domains very carefully. I am going to upload the project in my subdomain demo.codingdiksha.com. So I am typing https demo.codingdiksha.com. This is the primary domain. Now I am going to add the authorized redirect URIs. When users sign in successfully, they are redirected to this URL only. I am going to upload the project in one folder. So I am going to add this link in the authorized redirect URIs field, because I am going to upload the project in sign in with Google using JavaScript folder. So I add this link. Finally, click the Create button. You can also use localhost if you are developing the project in localhost. Just the client ID is created successfully. Copy the client ID for future usage and pasted it somewhere else. I pasted it in Notepad. In this project, I am going to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery and Bootstrap version 5. Okay, let's move on to the coding part. I am using Visual Studio Code for development. Now I am going to open the project folder which I have created already in the name of Sign in with Google using JavaScript. There is no files inside the folder. I just choose the folder. Now I am going to create 3 files. The file names are index.php HTML, then index.css. After that, index.js. I have created 3 files. Now I am going to write the basic HTML file structure. You don't have to write it manually because Visual Studio contains a default HTML boilerplate. Just type HTML. You can find HTML:5, which means HTML5. Click that, it will automatically create the basic HTML structure. Now I am going to replace the title, login with Google account using JavaScript. Yeah. After that, I am going to add the meta, which is provided in the Google Platform Library. It is required to integrate the Google sign-in functionality. Google already provided the documentation for that. I opened the documentation. This link also provided in the comment description. I scroll down. I find that the meta name field. I copied that and I pasted it in the head section. Now you have to replace the client ID, your client ID, with what we have created. I copied this client ID and pasted it here. Yeah, that's it. Now I'm going to add all script elements to execute external JavaScript libraries such as jQuery and other Bootstrap and other JavaScript libraries. The first thing is you have to include the Google Platform Library to integrate the Google sign-in functionality. Just copy the code and paste the code in body section. Don't paste the code in head section, because if you paste the code in head section, then your server performance will be decreased. For good performance, you have to place the script tags in body tag. I placed the script element. After that, I am going to integrate all the external JavaScript libraries such as Bootstrap, jQuery. I opened the Bootstrap version 5. I copied the JS script. Then I pasted it in the body section. In Visual Studio Code, if you press Shift plus Alt plus F, then the code will be automatically formatted, which is very useful for developers. After that, I am going to add the link into the head section, CSS link, file sheet, external file sheet. It is necessary for Bootstrap. I copied the link style sheet and I pasted it in head section. Now I am going to add Java jQueries. I am using the Google CDN to load the jQuery. I copied the code and pasted it in body section. That's it. I think I added all the external JavaScript libraries and CSS style sheets. Now I am going to add internal index.css and index.js file. For JS, I am going to create a script element, source equal to index.js, close the tag. For CSS, I am going to add a link style sheet, link equal to style sheet, href equal to index.css. That's it. I successfully integrated the CSS and JavaScript files in HTML. Now I am going to create the heading in body tag h2. For designing purpose, I am using Bootstrap classes, alert, primary, sign in with Google using JavaScript. After that, I'm going to add the Google sign in button. You don't have to create a Google sign in button manually because the Google platform library provides default Google sign in button. I opened the web page and I copied this code and I pasted it here. That's it. After that, now I am going to create another div element which is used to show the data retrieved from the Gmail ID, such as name, profile picture and email ID. For that, I am going to create a new div element with the class name data. In the div element, I am going to create paragraph tag name. For designing purpose, I am using Bootstrap. Alert success. You need to use ID, not the class. Yeah, right. After that, I'm going to include the profile picture. For that, I'm using image tag. Class equal to, I'm going to circle the image. For that, I'm using Bootstrap rounded circle class. Rounded circle class from Bootstrap is used to circle the image. Rounded circle. Yeah. After that, I'm using width 100, height 100. I forgot to add ID, so I'm adding ID image. Yeah, I close the tag. After that, I'm going to add email ID. ID equal to email. After that, I need to add a sign out button. For that, I'm using button type equal to button. I'm using Bootstrap class to design the button. Class equal to btn, which means button danger. Then I'm going to add on click function sign out, which is called when the user clicks the sign out button. Sign out. Yeah, that's it. I think HTML part is over. When the user clicks the sign in button, then these fields are loaded. The div element will be loaded, the data div element will be loaded. In the initial stage, we need to disable the data element, because when the user clicks the sign in only, then only the data will be retrieved using the jQuery. In the initial stage, we have to disable this div element. For that, I am going to use CSS dot, the class name is data, so I'm using data opening bracket display none. Yeah, that's it. Now I'm going to make the Google sign in button position center of the screen, center of this screen, center of the screen. For that, I'm copy the Google sign in button class ID, position absolute, top 50%, left 50%, margin top minus 50 pixel, margin left minus 50 pixel. That's it. This CSS code is used to make the Google sign in button center of the screen. The CSS part is completed. Now I am moving to the JavaScript part. You don't have to write the JavaScript function because Google already provided the JavaScript function codes. This is the code. They are storing the basic profile values in the variable profile. After that, they are showing the data using console.log. But in this project, I am not going to show the data in console.log. console.log. I'm going to show the data in web page using jQuery. That's why we included the jQuery into our project. I just copied the function, then I pasted it here. I removed the console.log quotes because I'm going to use jQuery. Once the details are stored in the profile, you can use jQuery to retrieve specific field data. For that, I am using $ opening bracket double quotation hash name. Name where we need to show the values need to be placed here. Name, the ID. Sorry, here we need to use class. The paragraph ID equal to double quotation name. Yeah, this is correct. I'm going to show the data retrieved from this function, the name, into the paragraph ID name. So name dot, I'm going to get the text, so I'm using text opening bracket profile. The data are stored in profile variable, so I'm using profile dot get name function semicolon. That's it. The same applies to email, opening bracket double quotation hash email. To show the email, I'm using email ID, this ID email dot email also in text format, so I'm using text profile dot get email. This is case sensitive, please note that. Now I'm going to retrieve the image URL. For that, I'm using the jQuery double quotation hash image dot, this is not text, right? This is an attribute, so I'm using attribute opening bracket. The source of the URL we need to get. For that, I'm using source comma in the profile dot get image URL semicolon. That's it. In the when the user clicks sign in button, we have to show the data field. We already hide the data field using CSS. When the user clicks sign in button, we have to show the data field. For that, I'm going to use jQuery $ double quotation dot data dot CSS opening bracket display block semicolon. This will show the data when the user clicks the sign in button. When the user clicks the sign in button, we have to hide the sign in button because the user is successfully signed in, right? So for that, I'm using $ double quotation dot this is the class of the sign in button, g hyphen sign in 2, so I'm copy that, I paste it here. Then dot CSS opening bracket double quotation display double quotation none. This code will hide the sign in button when the user signed in successfully, right? The sign in function is over. Now I'm going to write the sign out function. The sign out function is also given in the Google documentation. I copied the sign out function, then I pasted it here. For that, they are showing the user is signed up successfully using console.log. I'm going to alert the user, so I used alert double quotation, you have been signed out successfully. Yeah, once the user is signed out, we have to show the sign in button, right? Because we already hide the sign in button via this code. So I copied this code, I pasted it here. Change the none to block to display the sign button. Once the user is signed out, then we have to hide the data field again. So I copied this code, then I pasted it here, then change the block to none. Once the user is signed out successfully, then sign in button will be shown using this code, CSS code. Then when the user signed out successfully, then the data element will be hidden using this code. That's it. I saved all the files. Now I am going to test the file by uploading these 3 files into my subdomain. Yeah, I copied these 3 files and I uploaded the 3 files using FileZilla software. Yeah, all files are successfully uploaded into the sign in with Google using JavaScript directory. Now I am going to open the subdomain / yeah, the project is successfully loaded. Sign in with Google using JavaScript. The sign in button is shown center of the screen. When I click the sign in button, the prompt will open. I have to choose any one of the email ID. I have 2 email IDs. I am choosing the first one. Yeah, it is successfully shown. The name Ranjit Kumar S, the profile picture is shown, then email ID. If you want to design the email ID, then you can use any class equal to alert danger. I re-uploaded all the files just to show you how Bootstrap will reduce your work. Yeah, the red color background will be shown with the help of Bootstrap. When I click the sign out button, the alert shown you have been signed out successfully. When I click the OK button, yeah, then the sign in button will be again shown. Now I am going to choose the second email ID. Yeah, the name, profile picture and the email ID retrieved from the email. Then it shows the sign out button. That's all, friends. With the help of this tutorial, you can add the Google sign-in functionality into any web application. If you have any doubts regarding this video, please comment down. I will help you. Please subscribe us to receive more videos like this. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.